Let's talk about something big that's happening in the world of programming right now, a huge shift. It really all boils down to one simple question. In a world where AI can write code, what's the one skill that it can't steal from you? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack here. All right, let's just rip the Band-Aid off. No beating around the bush. It's time to say the quiet part out loud, to look at a reality that a lot of people are, frankly, trying to ignore.
And here it is. AI is already taking over low-level programming tasks. And listen, this isn't some sci-fi prediction about the future. This is happening right now. If your main value is just turning a ticket into a piece of code, well, you are standing on some seriously melting ice.
Which brings us perfectly to our first section, AI and melting ice. It is the perfect way to think about it, right? This unstable ground that's forming right under the feet of traditional coding work.
So what can these AI tools really do? I mean, today, we're talking about writing clean, efficient functions from scratch. We're talking about taking messy, legacy code and refactoring it in seconds. They can generate entire applications from a simple prompt. They can debug faster than a junior developer, and they can spit out prototypes for new ideas almost instantly. The value of just being a code monkey is getting absolutely annihilated. And this all leads us to a pretty brutal but inescapable new equation. When the cost of actually implementing the code, the typing part, drops to basically zero thanks to AI, the value of design quality and your decision-making, well, it skyrockets. It becomes everything. The game has totally changed from how you build to what you build, and more importantly, why. So let's dig into that. We're calling this the flipped value equation, because we're about to see exactly why the old rules for what makes a valuable programmer, well, they just don't apply anymore. You know, for decades, coding paid really well for a few key reasons. It was hard to write code, the tools were slow, specialized knowledge was pretty scarce, and if you made a mistake, it could be incredibly expensive to fix. But AI has inverted every single one of those. Today, code is cheap to generate. Iteration is instantaneous. Knowledge is universally accessible. And mistakes? They're super easy to reverse. The entire economic foundation of the job has been completely upended. So that begs the question, what's left, right? What's the new defensible skill? And that brings us to our third section, the real programming language. And I'll give you a spoiler, it has absolutely nothing to do with Python or JavaScript. This new language is what we call architectural thinking. What is that? It's about choosing the right thing to build, designing it the right way, and this is the critical part, knowing if it's even worth building in the first place. It's a shift from pure execution to pure judgment. The difference in mindset here is it's night and day. A traditional programmer, they ask tactical questions. Okay, what framework should I use? What language? They're focused on the how. But the architect? They're asking strategic questions. What's the problem that actually matters here? What are the real constraints we're working with? And what's the actual business impact of doing this? See the difference? It's all about the why and the what. So here's the most important takeaway. Your new output, it isn't lines of code. Your new output is return on investment, ROI. The most important question you can ask is no longer, how elegant is my code, but what business outcome does this code actually unlock, save, or accelerate? So if implementation is becoming a commodity, what do we do with AI? Do we fight it? No way. We use it. We leverage it. It becomes our force multiplier. From here, there are really two paths forward. The implementer is stuck in a fight they can't win. It's you versus a machine that never sleeps, never forgets, and never gets bored. Good luck with that. But the architect has this massive edge. They use AI as a partner, a co-pilot, to instantly test ideas, to build prototypes, and to validate assumptions. It becomes a tool for strategic thinking. Okay, that all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually do it? Let's get really practical in our final section, becoming an architect. Now, here's the key. You need to realize that you don't need a new job title for this. You just need a new lens to look through. This isn't about getting promoted to lead architect. It's about changing how you approach your work, starting today in whatever role you're in right now. So here's your starting checklist. Before you write a single line of code, start asking these questions. Number 1, what is the business goal this actually serves? 2, what specific metric is going to move if this is successful? 3, what's the absolute cheapest, fastest experiment we can run to prove this even has value? 4, what's going to break if usage suddenly goes up 10x?
And maybe the most powerful question of all, what should we not be building? Answering these is where the real value is now.
So, you see, the real dividing line isn't humans versus AI. That's the wrong way to look at it. The true division in the future is between architects and implementers. It's a skills battle, not a technology battle. And AI is simply automating the work of implementation first.
At the end of the day, the skill that truly matters is designing systems that produce real-world results under real-world constraints. Like the source material says, everything else is just syntax, and syntax is cheap now. Which leaves us with one final, very personal question for you to think about. Take a hard look at your own work, at the projects you're on right now. Are you truly designing leverage and creating ROI, or are you just writing syntax? Because the answer to that question is going to define your entire career in the age of AI.